stop. Hold on. Ain't no fucking way.
Blowing thick clouds. I'm dancing.
I like this segment.
Oh, God.
I love this segment a lot. Dude, I can't wait until you get the dildo bat.
Don't look over here. Don't look over here.
Hey,
everyone sucks here.
sucks. I knew it.
Hello.
Those look. Self-checkout. Put the panther in the bag. The anus. We'll figure it out.
Every week I got to do like a double lineup in that, but that's okay. That's okay.
It's all right. It's all right, man.
Oh, man.
This continues to be our worst enemy, but we're going to figure it out, man.
This is part 2 of the episode that almost didn't happen.
Yeah.
If last week you were the one getting frustrated, I was the one that lost my fucking cool this time. I
felt like I was cool as a cucumber this time, man. I'm going to give myself some kudos, man. I don't like doing virtual recordings because it seems we didn't change any settings. We didn't change anything from the way we were configured last week, excuse me, and it refused to work. And
it's like technology has a mind of its own. Like everything's, we even said last week, like next week will be easy, plug in, keep all the same settings.
Psych.
And we were supposed to start at 8 p.m. and it's 9:22.
It's all right. I got time.
Man.
I got time, baby.
Yeah, I kind of lost it. But it's because I think you and I both kind of share the technology frustration. Like when you're looking at everything and everything looks right and it's just not working. That's what I can't handle.
So it's frustrating because like my job in the military is working with technology. 90% of my job is trying to fix the systems that don't do what they are advertised to do.
Right.
And you have to go in and figure out what blink and you'll miss it setting has been ignored or just, as you said, like all of a sudden it was like, you know what? I'm going to just not do this. I'm going to decide to not do this very basic function this time.
Yeah. I even pulled up a video that said, here's 3 different things to try. And of course it starts with like the basic, make sure it's turned on, whatever in the program. And it gave me 3 different things. And I tried everything and everything looked fine.
Okay. So the Hardpoint, I'm glad we're doing this. I love that we're doing this. But it has been a journey of audio-visual exploration and education for both of us, I feel like. Yeah. And I got to say, I know everyone is out there trying to do the YouTube hustle. We're trying to do the YouTube hustle. I'm not trying to hate. I ain't trying to throw any shade at anyone in particular. But for the love of God, when you're trying to troubleshoot an issue and you have to watch 2, 12, 20 videos, and it's like, hey, make sure you like and subscribe. It's like I would rather fucking die than continue to beat my head against the first 2 minutes of your introduction to this issue. Just tell me how to fix. The most helpful ones, believe it or not, are the ones where it's like someone literally shooting video with their camera, pointed at the screen. It's like, hey, I've been trying to fix this thing. I finally figured it out. That's how you do it. All right. Bye.
And you can usually tell by like how long the video is. If we're like sub 60 seconds, 120 seconds, we're good to go. I'm clicking
that's
that
where
one.
the answer is.
The one that's 5 minutes plus, there ain't no way. No. And let's be real. I'm not going to subscribe to your video if I'm just there trying to figure out how to fix my toilet.
No, just passing through, homie. I'm not going to be a regular here. I just need to know how to allow my microphone.
I'm not turning on the microphone or the fucking bell for notifications. I'm not leaving a comment. Like, I'm here and then I'm gone.
And I'm great. Like, it's not to sound ungrateful, but good God, like, anyway.
I should drop a like. I like, because if it's an issue I've had and had to fix more than one time, you like it, so it goes into your liked videos. Right. Yeah. You can kind of refer back to it. That's as much as I'm willing to give. Right. Like in that moment, I'm not in, you know what I feel like doing today?
supporting a YouTuber. No, I'm here to fix a problem and move along with my life.
And if your video did not fix my problem, I'm not liking it.
I wish I could. Yeah. I mean, the unlike video was or the unlike finger thing. You know, they took it away, but you know, I don't know.
We're here though. It was kind of a funny moment right before. So when I was waiting on you to get on, I was in here, man. I got my lighting just right. I got this song that it's really getting me pumped up right now. I'm vibing in here, dude. I'm blowing thick clouds. I'm dancing. Like I'm on a level, bro. Like I'm feeling good. I'm ready to rock and roll. And then having to like be tech support for or IT for an hour and a half. I told you I need a minute. I got to listen to my song one more time.
Nothing kills the vibe like your audio device was not detected.
No, but then the funny part was I had the music going through my headphones and I'm sitting here dancing on screen and you can't hear anything. So all you see me is me dancing.
He's like,
it's silent.
I'm like, all right. That song looks like it's really good.
Like a silent disco. It's hilarious. I don't know why I thought you could hear it. You know, on my end, it feels
title right there. Silent disco. I like that.
Hell yeah.
Welcome
what's
to
up, man?
Yeah, hey, buddy. I was about to introduce the episode. I didn't even introduce myself to you. How are you?
Yeah. Who are you? Oh, I'm
you?
okay.
Yeah.
Hey, do you notice anything different about me?
Well, you got a sick Carnifex t-shirt on. That's for sure.
Well, shout out Scott. Appreciate it.
Yeah, the man, the homie.
Maybe a little higher.
Oh, okay. Definitely not rocking the big dorky Xbox headphones.
Hello.
Those look pro. Those look profesh. I like it.
Dude, I ordered them like 2 days ago, and it said it would be here on Saturday. Cool. We're shooting Saturday. Good to go, right? We're shooting Saturday night.
Race against the clock.
Yeah, well, I start looking at like the tracking or whatever, and it's like should be there by 10 p.m. I'm like, surely that's a worst case scenario. It'll get here before 10 p.m. And I was sitting here vibing out earlier, like I said, it was like 8 o'clock, and they still hadn't got here. And I'm like, wow, they really like hit the worst case scenario here. Like they waited till the last hour when they were supposed to be here.
What delivery man is out at that hour?
And you texted me, are you ready to rock and roll? And at that moment, I saw the little Amazon map. You can track your package. And it said you were 3 stops away. And he was in my neighborhood, dude. And he dropped him off. I popped him open. And then we proceeded to have an hour and a half of technical difficulties. But don't I look better?
Those are pretty fresh, man. I like them.
Thanks,
I
man.
like them. They match your shirt.
Yeah, man.
That's pretty good. We're black on black tonight. We initially we were like, someone should wear a not black shirt. But I have mostly black shirts, so that's problematic for me.
My wife tells me because I'm so pale, black's not my color, but it's like definitely the color I prefer the most on a t-shirt.
Well, I think it makes the rest of you pop, buddy.
Thanks, man. Look at we got the black band tees. I mean, it's like
we look like fun guys to hang out with. I'd be
and
our
your
friend.
lighting looks great, and you got that circle thing on your mic. What the hell is that?
It's a pop ring because when I was editing the last several videos, I realized that I'm a little windy, especially on my P's and my B's. So I put this thing on here so that I wouldn't
test its limits. Really.
Put the panther in the bag. Put the panther in the black bag. How's that sound?
All right, now we'll try mine without it. Put the panther in the black bag.
Whoa, easy.
Yeah,
we gotta get you. I actually have a spare. I'll give you my spare.
Okay, cool. That thing's got like
it's handy.
Serious force field powers to it.
Oh yeah, man. It's like it's a no P's and B's. You shall not pass. You shall not pass.
Your lighting looks good too. We're stepping this thing up, man.
Hey, man,
1% better every time.
Funky colors are in right now, man.
Yeah.
If you're starting a podcast and you're not thinking pinks and blues and purples,
yeah,
might need to reassess. But
I'm kind of outing myself here, but the wonderful lighting you see behind me is a series of string lights hastily thrown on the ground, and they're just kind of lighting the background up very nicely. So they're not a permanent fix.
They're not going to see what I see because we're doing this over a video call, but it looks festive. I like it.
Thanks. Like I said, all right, kick the show off.
You're listening to The Hardpoint with Onexpunchxdad and Code Romes.
Welcome to the Hardpoint. My name is Onexpunchxdad.
My name is Cody Josh.
And we are back for episode 5.
Dude, these things are flying by.
They are.
I said this after 3 and after 4, but it feels like yesterday this thing was just a thought and an idea. And we're rolling on 5, man. These weeks come and go really fast, honestly.
They really do, but it doesn't feel like work. I've done the podcast thing in the past. I think we found a really good rhythm. I think consistency is really easy to achieve, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it, man.
I am too. It's kind of consumed my thoughts, and I enjoy it, which is the important part. It's really fun, but it's something that I want to be successful. And when I care about something, that's when I have the easiest time, like pouring time and effort and just manpower into it. So I've had a ton of fun, everything down to editing and uploading stuff and finding cool shorts to post and talking to you about topics. And I mean, it's just, I've never done one. You've done one, but I'm having a lot of fun doing it.
It really does stand alone. I think, and the biggest thing has been the feedback. We talked a little bit at the end of episode 4, just about how overwhelming and how encouraging the feedback has been. We're looking and kind of discussing ways on how to include the community a little better. We had a Discord conversation this week, brief though it was, but I think that's probably a direction we're heading to get more involvement from you guys and get more. Not even just the write-ins. Like, we love the write-ins. They're a lot of fun, obviously.
Sure.
Those honestly are some of my favorite moments from the show week to week. But even more than that, we want to, crazy stuff. We've been talking about, Grand Theft Auto 6 and this Vagrant Holiday guy. So those are some things that we are snowballing into something that you can get involved in, if that makes sense. Yeah,
the write-ins are great. And we usually say this at the end of the show, but all the positive feedbacks in the comments, or anything, just, it really encourages us, and we'd be doing it either way because we have fun with it. But knowing that people are listening and enjoying it, and looking forward to the next episode, it's really early for us, but I think we've had overwhelming positive feedback. That we really appreciate taking the time to do that.
It really is huge. It really is huge, and we just can't thank you enough. Let's get right into it, man. It was a huge week for video games. We love video games here. I think we'll start off with the appetizer being the Game Awards happened this week. Pretty interesting, a couple trailers, couple of announcements. Baldur's Gate 3 Game of the Year. Not a game that Cody or I have played, but how do you I know we talked about. I know you've seen that game. I've seen the game. Neither of us have played it. Any thoughts on that? A lot of people feel like Spider-Man 2 was robbed, another game we haven't played, but obviously, has a lot more. I don't know. It felt like there might have been more buzz about Spider-Man, but any thoughts about that?
I think if anybody was robbed, it was Starfield. I mean, that game was clearly. I think that thing was a clear front runner, and again, it just
front runner for what?
Fastest time getting bored.
Fastest flash to bang of me being like, oh, you know what? This isn't fun. I'm going to play something else.
So Baldur's Gate, I've heard about it. I think if you're online at all, scrolling, I don't know. Most of my feed on TikTok and YouTube is video games. So, it's obviously rolled by. I've heard of it, but I don't know a lot about it. At all. You said it was like a what did you call it?
It is like Dungeons and Dragons, the game, which I don't know if you've ever played D&D at all. It's
heard of it. I mean, I don't know anything about it.
Cody's way cooler than I am from a social standpoint, no. Totally tracks that he would not be a D&D player. No, it's basically you.
Have you played it?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun actually. Generally fantasy driven. You roll a character. You have dice, and not just like 6-sided dice. You have their like D20, right? They're 20-sided dice, and you kind of have like a 1 through 20. And that's how you kind of roll your stats, right? You create a character, and then you generally, if you have a good DM or dungeon master, they concoct a campaign for you and maybe 2, 3, 4 of your friends to go through, and you go through these situations, and essentially Baldur's Gate 3 or the Baldur's Gate games are that in a video game. So you don't have to have the dungeon master. Obviously, the character creation is just it's like it is in any game, right?
So like the opposite of button mashing for combat.
No. It's a point and click type of thing. It is a thing where it's turn based, which being straight, that is something that you and I pretty loudly fucking hate. I enjoy quick button pushing responsive combat. Right. I don't want, to select my attack and then wait for my turn diligently.
Is that how I'm really stepping outside of my knowledge here? Is that what Final Fantasy was?
It kind of is. Yes, it's turn based.
Okay.
The most recent games are actually not. I would say I think Final Fantasy 15 and on. 16 came out this year, but it's fighting combat. It's regular combat. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the classic games like your Final Fantasy 7, the dude with the big buster sword or whatever, that's turn-based. But it's not something we typically would go for, but for something like that to sweep the Game Awards the way BG3 did has my curiosity. I think it's something that I feel like I would be eager to try. Same with Elden Ring, right? Elden Ring is not, I don't do the games that are fun because they're hard type of games.
Right. Like Demon Souls and
Nope, don't typically go for that. And to be honest, I bounced off Elden Ring, but I had a time with it that I enjoyed it.
Right.
I'm open to try other games. We've talked. I want to do more than just shoot people in the face in video games.
Sure.
But unfortunately, because of who I am as a person, that is consistently the funnest thing to do in a video game. And so, I don't know. Do you have any interest in it now that you see it take Game of the Year, or is it a thing of because of what it is inherently, you're just going to bounce off of it? And you just don't even bother.
I'm probably going to bounce off of it. I think for me, my gaming time in general is pretty limited. I feel like I don't even get to play the games that I like enough as I would want to, so, I will just kind of let the people that enjoy that type of game enjoy it. Definitely don't hate on it or anything like that, but I think because it's just not really in my lane that I'm not going to end up even trying it, which, as a game lover, I probably should. But I just don't think I'm going to.
I feel that, man. It's one of those things where, the world can be cool, the game can be beautiful,
right?
The characters can be fun, the dialogue can be funny, but if moving around in the world and negotiating the game itself doesn't feel the way you need it to feel, it's very it's like, I talked recently about the Star Wars Fallen Order, right? Story-wise, right. I could tell it had a lot there, but when I got to the gameplay, and that's a hack and slash, right? I just was like, this looks silly, and I don't know, I can't do it.
Yeah. But, so you never played any of the new Spider-Man, not Spider-Man 2, but the one that came out on PS4, and then Miles Morales, and now this one?
I did play vanilla, just straight up, before any of the remakes or anything before Miles Morales. I did play the original one.
Right.
Very fun. I found it to be a little repetitive. And not to take away, this is a game that's honestly, it's regarded as very good,
right.
It had big Arkham vibes. I know you and I both really enjoyed Arkham City, Arkham Knight. It felt, it was literally, it kind of boiled down to I would rather be Batman than Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, so I loved, my favorite superhero is Spider-Man. That's my number one. Wow. I love Batman. No disrespect. I love Spider-Man.
And you have not to cut you off, but you have said, if I buy a PS5, it's going to be for this game.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah. There are other games that I will play if I buy a PS5, but that would be the
driver.
In fact, for sure. And when the first Spider-Man came out, do you remember it came out on PS4 originally? And do you remember that Spider-Man edition that it was all red and on the top it had that white spider?
Yeah.
I bought that. I didn't have a PS4 at the time. I bought that to play that game and then sold the console. I booted it. Yeah.
Thing's probably worth money now.
It definitely is. I think a couple years later, I ended up looking and that thing was going for, I don't know why I did. I don't, maybe, it was a while ago, probably slim on money anyway, just kind of the time frame that it fell in.
And time, man. Like we talked about, time.
For sure.
This is not like if I'm taking on a new game, something else is getting bumped out. So.
Right. Yeah, but I did that for the first one, and I skipped Miles Morales. I don't know why. That one never really interested me. But Spider-Man 2, I'm very interested in. I've been looking for a reason. I think we kind of both have an excuse to buy a PS5, or at least we want one at the very least. And that would be my excuse. So I hate that I'm, have missed out on it this far. I think at some point I will get one and play it. So I can't really speak to it winning or not winning the game of the year. Has that already been announced? Did Baldur's Gate officially win it?
Yeah, the Game Awards happened.
Okay,
yeah.
I don't know. Okay. So, yeah, I'll get there. I'm sure people felt like it. It's a totally different style of game, like we just talked about. So the people that think Spider-Man 2 got robbed are probably like us, people that like button mashing or shooting people in the face and just don't play Dungeons and Dragons and Baldur's Gate. It's probably just whatever type of game that you prefer.
Exactly. I think, I'll say this and then we can be done with the Game Awards stuff, but I think they are really looking at these games as kind of an art style, and that's very evident with a lot of the things that won. Alan Wake 2, which is another game that we're probably a little more likely to play. I feel like I could get into an Alan Wake a little easier than I get into a Baldur's Gate.
Did you play the first one?
I dabbled. I think I played the first 30 minutes of that game.
Surprisingly good, dude. I finished that game, ran the credits on it, and had a great time with it, man. I really liked it. And for some reason, 2 is just kind of like, it's flown under my radar. I've heard nothing but good things, and it looks awesome.
So if game of the year was a sheer volume, like the more minor awards you win, then the more close.
Sure.
That game won more awards than BG3 did. It won a ton of awards for the Game Awards, and it's something that's another one of where it flown under my radar. I don't typically play horror, flashlight, type of games, but I'm interested in that. Absolutely. That is a game that I feel like is almost more interesting to me than a Baldur's Gate.
Man, that's I don't know how linear it is. I don't want to put it in a box, but gaming's evolved so much to where like it's all online, it's all like Warzone type stuff, huge, massive games, that the just linear story driven game has kind of lost, there's not really a place for it today. And there's something really romantic and attractive to me about a game that it's linear in its story and you play it start to finish. There's not a lot of like upgrading or customization or anything, but it's just a story.
Get this guy from A to B being the credits.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like we've come full circle to where that now sounds really fun and attractive to me.
It does.
To be honest.
It does. I know, and this is something we have to rectify, by the way. But I know you've never played Metal Gear Solid start to finish, but there is something fun about that game. About there's no leveling up. Like you get your health bar gets longer every time you fight a boss. That's probably about as close as you get to leveling up. But the weapons and the things that you get are unlocked by going through the game. It's not necessarily that your character is just stronger and more badass by the time you get to the end. They're unlocked by necessity. And I think that's a thing of I like that my character is the badass that he started the game as without having to do all this leveling up and all the like learning all these skills. There is a part of that I think is a open worldism that we've kind of I think I'm a little burnt out on it. You know what I mean?
I think so. And the way we grew up and fell in love with video games was that just linear, story-driven, single-player games. So there's a little bit of like nostalgia, I think, to just that style of game in general, and some simplicity. Games are so complex and so deep now that that's cool. Unless you just kind of want to pick it up and play for a little bit, it's tougher to do that with today's games.
I agree with that, but. Congrats to the dev team and all those guys at BG3. I know that game's probably a game that no one anticipated being a hit, and here it is. It's game of the year, so congrats to them. In other gaming news, and this is another one that I think probably is a little bit more in our area of expertise, but we got the first trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 this week, and
boy did we.
Man, I just want to open up, and then I want to hear your thoughts. But this feels like a cultural event.
100%, I agree.
It feels There is something about we talked a couple weeks in a row now about what they need to do to capture our society, right? It's set in a modern setting, to capture our society and to just portray a lot of the things that we are going through as a society right now.
Yeah.
And even though that trailer was a lot of pre-rendered footage, I understand it was probably a lot of like cinematic type footage. I feel like they are well beyond on track to do that.
Right. Yeah. You pointed something out that I think I was kind of thinking, but you kind of put it into focus. Like, this game's been 10 years in the making, but most of what you saw in that trailer were modern day stuff, like the heavy use of social media, like the street race, like the takeovers and the intersection. Like, that's not stuff that was going on 10 years ago.
It's really not.
And I don't know how I don't know how they're made, but it's impressive to me that you can work on something for so long and have such modern elements in it.
The big thing for me, the thing I specifically pointed out was at one point there are two NPCs or characters, I don't know, doing an actual TikTok live. They are in the camera. The camera is literally like what do you call it? Portrait mode, and there's comments that are flying up. It's a TikTok live, and that's a thing that's only been around since 2020, 2021, really.
Right.
That feels bonkers that they were able to, I don't even want to say shoehorn, because that means you're stuffing it in, right?
Right.
They were able to naturally bake in these elements of what it is to be an American or live in America in modern times. There's so much in that trailer that I feel excited for. So much.
This is a big conversation. I don't even know where to take it, because just things about what we saw to be excited about. But then, like, I don't know, just getting into like how Rockstar made this game. Like, I don't know how much you know about the steps to make a game or what actually goes into it. But if a lot of these things that we saw weren't even a thing till like 5 years ago, like, what are they doing the first 5 years of production? And like you said, does something come out and they're like, this needs to be in the game? Like, do they have to pivot? They just, like, how does that work? I don't understand. It's very interesting to me.
And I would be guessing to say, but my assumption, based on just kind of watching whatever through my day job and just kind of watching how large programs function.
Sure.
I think the base plate, the boilerplate that they lay down, the foundation is literally just navigating the world, making a system in which the NPCs can drive and go throughout their daily life. All the interactions, all those little quality of life things we talked about, all the way people move, the way people interact, the character models, all that stuff. And then I think simultaneously they probably have been doing the motion capture for the actual cutscenes and the characters and stuff, which I want to say right out of the gate, I was stunned. Absolutely stunned at how good the character models. When you have a game that is set on being, I think the estimate I saw was 2 to 4 times the size of Grand Theft Auto 5, a game of that magnitude, and the lady at the desk when Lucia, the main character, who I think it looks amazing. And I'm not, obviously, she's a babe, but like from a character model standpoint also, she just looks fantastic. Even that chick that she's talking to at the desk looks fantastic. There's no character model in that trailer that doesn't look immaculate almost. And I say immaculate in terms of like, we've got now different body styles. We've got now different body types, ethnicities I feel like are going to be better represented. You know, you got the old guy watering his lawn and his lawn and his fucking Speedo, you know, like his fucking like shriveled up ass just hanging out there for the world. Like
no ass, dude. The flattest
he's got
ass
Hank
I've ever
Hill
seen.
ass watering his bushes. And so, dude, the attention to detail, I feel like just on the characters, I feel like again, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. This world, without having played it, without having maneuvered a character through it, feels like it's going to feel lived in.
I agree. And that I was going to ask you what your favorite or like most impressed by part of the trailer was. And one of mine is it was a scene early on and it's just kind of panning the beach as the people are walking towards the camera.
Yes.
And the sheer volume of bodies on that beach and the fact that not only do none of them look alike, they all look completely different, just like a real beach would, right?
Yes.
None of them are even similar.
And they're emoting. Like, they're all doing different things.
Right.
Like, they're all looking different directions. They're not just trudging around like, NPCs 10 years ago kind of did. They look aware in their world in a weird way.
And it makes you feel like each of those individuals serve a purpose. They're not just a copy and pasted NPC. It makes you believe that they all have a backstory. They all have a childhood. They all have a life. Like, they're going to go home that evening. It makes you feel like they have a story. And if you can look at every character, or NPC in there and think there's a story to that person, not that you're going to actually find out what it is in that game or anything, but that's just kind of how it makes you feel. That's unbelievable. That was one of the most impressive, breathtaking things about that trailer to me.
That's definitely a standout. I think for me, like the mudding scene where
that was number 2 for me.
Yeah, the chick, and a lot of it's probably just really good mocap, but the chick in the American flag bra comes up and she's like that to me felt like a moment out of 2023.
To me, not only visually, but I think what that tells us about what's going to be in this game. Like, if there's like a whole section or gang or group or whatever that's that's a very real thing here in Texas. Like, people go to these mud pits and take their ATVs or their jacked up trucks. Like, that is a real thing. Obviously, this is in Florida. It happens there too. Yeah. But if you have the ability to like off-road or go mudding or
recreationally, like not on a mission.
Dude. Yeah, you could see some like really big jacked up trucks in the background. If that's in the game, that's going to be incredible, dude. Like, that's just so different from anything that we've seen out of a game from them that I don't know, man. It was visually awesome, but just the thought that maybe that's going to be in the game too, just the diversity of what you're going to be able to do is so exciting.
I feel like they've just jam-packed a lot. I'm excited for this game big time, man. There are a lot of aspects that have kind of like trickled out, I don't know, from Rockstar or whatever, but one aspect that we kind of talked that I found particularly interesting was the fact that breaking into cars and hijacking cars is no longer going to be like, oh, you just punch the window out, you get in, and you drive off.
Right.
You now, for more expensive, more luxury cars, because security systems have kind of evolved in 10 years.
Right.
You actually have to break into those cars. It's not, there's a timer associated with it. Obviously, there's alarms. We talked about the potential for, is that a skill that you now have to kind of like level up?
Right.
You're breaking into cars or doing whatever, what do they call it, a Slim Jim or whatever?
Yeah.
So that to me is interesting. That to me is equivalent to, a lot of people kind of got mad when Red Dead 2 came out and said, oh, you can't just hunt and get 1 million wolf carcasses and go turn those in and sell them.
Right.
You can only fit what you can carry on your horse.
Yeah.
I actually kind of liked that change, and this is another change that I feel like, again, makes the world feel like it has real cost and real consequences.
Yeah, and I think I haven't heard this. I have nothing to actually back this up, but I would imagine like evading the police is going to be completely different too. I doubt it'll be just a, stay outside of their cones for, whatever, X amount of seconds, and then you're good to go. Like, I would imagine there's some sort of, you might have to go change your clothes, or like, I don't know, they might remember you. Once you evade them, you might not be good. You might have to take a additional step to, I don't know, be fully evaded or something like that.
Yeah. The whole whatever, lose the cops. Like,
Yeah.
like that needs to go, man. That compromises that sense of cost again.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if I'm going to be a criminal, driving outside of the hazy red circle doesn't make me feel like I'm a criminal as soon as I get out of there and my wanted level drops. Again, not to keep hyping up Red Dead too much. These dudes love Red Dead.
We agreed we wouldn't talk about it anymore.
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding.
But no, that there is a sense of like you commit a crime, like I probably shouldn't go back there for a while.
Right. Yeah. Because that whole area is outlined in red. You got to go pay your bounty. And like, even if you're on your way to pay your bounty, you could still get intercepted by, the law. And you're like, I'm going to pay my bounty. They don't care. Like, they're still going to try and take you down.
Exactly.
Have you heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but like Rockstar does not use CGI in any of their trailers or anything? Like, people were trying to debate, is that gameplay that we saw in that trailer, like, or is it not going to look that good, when you're actually in world?
So I have a feeling the cutscenes are going to look great. I think the cutscenes are going to look as advertised. There is a definite, like, in-game, I feel like they're not going to be able to capture as much of what those characters might do as far as like emoting and, like if you get shot, does your character go, like grit their teeth or whatever. I honestly, those are not the things that dissuade me, to be honest with you. Those are not the things that break immersion for me. A lot of it deals with character and NPC movement, how characters behave. We talked about like the gunfighting not being maybe like the least of all important, but also, do the cops use tactics when they're trying to take you down?
Right.
When you just, done a heist or robbed a bank.
The pit maneuver.
Yeah. Do they actually attempt to do a pit maneuver, or are they literally just trying to run their car into yours or run you over, and arrest you? Like, I would like to see some of that. I think that would feel bigger for me, for the cops, enemies, NPCs to use some actual, flanking tactics, flanking maneuvers, stuff like that, pit maneuvers. So
I wouldn't be surprised though, because like, I swear this is the last time we'll talk about it, but in Red Dead, the cutscenes are the gameplay. Like, you'll be in a cutscene and then the camera will just pan behind Arthur and then you can take control. Like, there's not a clear cut between cutscenes and gameplay. And it was the same with GTA 5. A lot of games you'll see these cutscenes that look like a movie, and then you go to take control of the character and it looks nothing like that. Like, at least the last couple Rockstar games, from my knowledge, have been like cutscenes and gameplay are the same thing. There's not a transition from one to the other necessarily. So
I think we passed through that window, and I think this is going to be the official like planting of that flag.
Yeah.
Like, hey, no, it's the line is completely not even blurred; it's just gone. I think you are going to be, little things like when you're dressing your character, right? You're in the wardrobe menu and you're picking your shirt and your pants. I feel like they're getting to a point now where even when that character is just kind of standing there in that idle, that idle animation while you put a different shirt on them, like, that is going to start to feel less and less like, okay, now this is a video game.
I would like to, man, there were such high expectations for this. And on one hand, you could say they had 10 years. They better have met those expectations. But on the other hand, you can say a game that has such, the game's not out. We're just talking about, the trailer. For a trailer that has such high expectations to still be like exceeded, that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild.
20 million views in 2 hours. 20 million views. And
you sent me that it passed the GTA 5 views in 24 hours, didn't it? 100 million?
It did, man. And it's a thing of where, and I called it a cultural event. Like, this is something that I feel like is going to be one of the biggest video games of the decade.
Right.
Just like GTA 5.
For expectations to arguably be higher than for anything ever in the gaming universe, and they were still exceeded, like, you still got to go do it. You still got to put something out. Like I said, they've had 10 years. They better have gotten it right, but you still have to do it. And it's wild to me that they were able to exceed expectations that were just, I asked you the question last week or maybe the week before, like, are we asking too much of this game? Are our expectations too high? And the answer appears no after the first trailer.
I think, honestly, what we're asking of this game is going to be superfluous because what they're going to deliver is going to be different in its own way. I don't think anyone knew what Red Dead 2 was going to do culturally before it came out. And it ended up being, same. Look at Baldur's Gate. But I don't think anyone would have pegged that on launch day as being Game of the Year. And here we are. So now, obviously, GTA 6 being the giant cash cow that it is, probably a little more potential for that. But I'm not sitting here trying to butter Rockstar's biscuit. I will say probably my biggest beef. But I have a caveat to this beef. 2025 is crazy. I think. Here's my thinking on that, and we've talked about this. Most of the good games get delayed.
Right.
Red Dead got delayed. Yeah. Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, good game. I love that game. Got delayed a year. Yeah. I think that is Rockstar saying, okay, when do we realistically think we could release this game? What is that plus 1 year? Yeah. That's the release date. I think so. I think April 2025. I think April 2024, here in a couple of months, that game is done and they take a year to polish it. I think that's what's happening.
That's the difference. We've talked about this. It's the polish. It's a year of polish makes all the difference in the world. And I think you hit it spot on. I think they set a date. When could this game release? Add 12 months to it. And that's what sets Rockstar apart. And like I don't know what the hell a fiscal year is, but I heard somebody say that it was supposed to be released 2025 fiscal year. I just assume it would be released during the holidays, which had me really bummed, thinking that we're like 2 years from this thing, right? But when I heard fiscal, somebody said that means like April at worst. And I told you, I think, they were probably like, instead of trying to release it in the holidays of 2024, let's give ourselves that cushion. Like I would rather it be ready and we're sitting twiddling our thumbs waiting for it to be released than it be released and need 6 to 12 months of extra baking time.
Here's what I will say, because you and I, and we'll probably talk about this for a little bit here in a second. We are diving in.
What are you doing when you bend over like that? What are you doing?
Taking a puff of my vape. I'll try not to do it on camera, man. I don't know. I'm trying to be discreet. Well, fuck that. Fuck it, everybody.
What the hell's down there? I think Epi 1, we said, let's not hit it on screen. So you keep bending over.
It took 5 episodes. GTA Online, we are diving in. We're playing tonight after we get done recording, I think.
Yes.
It's been 10 years, man. So the idea that in 2035, you and I could be diving into this game that hasn't come out yet, granted.
Right.
And being like, let's give it another shot. Let's try it out. Let's see what is new.
Right.
Any other game from 2013, that's crazy to talk about.
Yeah.
The staying power of these games. And I'll expand that, Rockstar, Skyrim is another game that I still to this day can load up and have a good time. That is fully what I anticipate this game being. It's going to be one of those games where 10 years down the line, 2035, whether you're coming in cold or you are loading it up because it was a great experience, I think that's my hypothesis. That's why a delay at the beginning is going to be like, well, okay, whatever. This game's going to make us billion upon billion of dollars.
Right. Because in 5 years, you're not going to remember. Until you just said that Red Dead was delayed, I didn't remember that.
It was.
That's not what sticks out to me about the game. It's how amazing and how polished it is, right? So a little bit of delay in the beginning is not going to stick with anybody. It's going to be that initial impression, i.e. why we haven't played Cyberpunk yet. That game is probably fucking awesome by now, but that initial impression of it was just so poor that we're so hesitant to get into it that, Rockstar is like, dude, if it comes out 6-12 months later, nobody's going to remember that. Nobody's going to care.
Exactly.
That's not what's going to stand out. And thinking of GTA 7, I was talking to my wife the other day.
Whoa.
I got a baby on the way. I have a daughter that's due mid next year.
We can talk about it on the podcast. Yay!
That was actually cut out of episode 1, funny enough, but because we hadn't announced it yet.
Well, I foolishly was like, "Hey, baby, right?" And you're like, "Hey, yeah, yep."
But I told my wife, I'm like, when GTA 7 comes out, our daughter is going to be like late middle school, like entering high school. And she's not even born yet.
My son was, for reference, my oldest son, who was born in 2013. And yeah, he's a full blown, he's 10 years old now. Like, it's weird to think of these games in terms of like the human lives that they span.
Right. Yeah. Has he asked you about Grand Theft Auto or anything?
He has seen me playing GTA Online. He's kind of curious about it. I told him, I was like, it's probably not quite a game for you. Not yet. But he's curious about it.
Interesting. Quick story. This is going to age you a little bit, but obviously we grew up together.
Yeah.
And there was a time where I don't know, our families were close. We lived right down the street from each other a while back.
Sure.
And we were like, I was over at your house. We all were. And like we would quite often, I'd be in your room. We were playing video games or whatever. And I didn't know what Grand Theft Auto was. Like, I don't know. It's just a game, And we were playing it together and we left. And my dad was like, did y'all have fun, whatever? Yeah, we're just playing games. And he's like, what were y'all playing? And I said, Grand Theft Auto. And he got pissed.
That's funny because your dad would not care at all now.
Today, he wouldn't give a shit, dude. But he was like, Grand Theft Auto. What?
Dude, Uncle Tony would not give a shit now, man.
Dude, he got so mad. So mad.
Dude,
I don't know why. That stood out to me.
So I have a very specific memory, and this is not specific to Grand Theft Auto, but it's kind of a Grand Theft Auto offshoot, so I think it counts. I remember when the third Saints Row game came out, and you texted me, and you're like, dude, I was at games. So you were still... Man, you had to have been like a freshman or sophomore in high school. And you're like, dude, I went to buy Saints Row the Third or whatever it was. And the dude, when I'm buying it with my mom there, is like, dude, I can't wait until you get the dildo bat. And you're like, what the fuck, man?
Dude, I don't remember that at all.
I remember
that.
Hilarious. You're like, come on, man.
Yeah, and no, my mom, she's super cool, but that was probably, especially then. I can't believe she didn't make me fucking put that thing right back.
High shock factor. Anyway,
okay. What the fuck? Why did you sell me out like that? Like, clearly, dude, that's not.
Come on.
Yeah, like,
read the room.
This is not my girlfriend. Like, just my mom, man. Why would you say
even if she was your girl? Like, that's not a thing to like announce to the fucking store. Yay! That's my favorite aspect of this game. Is the fucking dildo pad.
Oh, that is funny, dude.
Grand Theft Auto 6 coming to April 2025. Man, we'll see. I've high hopes. Honestly, high hopes.
I already told my wife when that comes off, I'm taking a minimum of 3 days off of work because I'm going to play it straight. Yeah. Like straight.
Go full immersion at the first sip, I think.
And that's 3 days off work paired with a weekend, dude. So I'm going to be... I'm going to try and get deep in that game right off the bat. Deep.
It's going to require some sessions. Couple sessions.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, very excited. All right, let's do a segment.
Let's do it. Which one?
Yours.
Mine?
Yeah.
Do you want to put a pin in Vagrant, or do you want to go straight into Am I the Asshole?
Nope, I want to talk about Vagrant. My bad.
You can tell we did a pre-show meeting, right?
Yeah. Well,
I would like to keep this brief because I think for certain people out there, they probably love this. I think for other people, they might be saying, okay, 3 episodes and you're still talking about it. So I would definitely like to hit this. I'd like to keep it brief.
As a salve to that, I would say we're putting the cap on it.
We're putting a pin, and I'm looking at my show notes over here, and it says put a pin in Vagrant Holiday.
Yeah.
So that's our intention.
Taking the lid, and we're just gonna right hand turn, put it away for a while.
Yep. So do you have thoughts, or do you want me to drive?
I'll say this for my final thoughts on Vagrant Holiday. I don't know who or what the fuck or where or how. We did, I will say, and I don't know if you're planning on covering this in your notes. You kind of captured a look at this guy.
Yep.
A look at this guy. That it is so. And I don't want to steal your thunder. I'll tee you up. Maybe you can.
You're good. You're good.
Maybe
go ahead.
Okay. So Cody texted me. He said, "Dude, I found him," and I was like, "Found who?" And he told me this is him. He sent me the video footage from the Vagrant Holiday Riot Holiday. Riot Holiday is the episode, right? Seattle riots. This is during I want to say the George Floyd riots.
Right.
You know, they've essentially taken over part of the town. They're burning cop cars. They're just demolishing businesses.
Crazy.
It's pure chaos, man. Cannot, in all good conscience, call this what happened a good thing. Not a good thing.
Right.
Anyway, he's there. He's filming. He's filming this van, a very specific van, at a very specific time. There's a very specific individual standing next to him with kind of like a full-blown, like a bazooka cam, right? Like you would have if you're part of a news team.
Like a newsman, yeah, for sure.
That footage from the episode, and then he sends me, I don't know how your level of research was unmatched. Someone else is standing behind them with what I only presume is like cell phone camera footage, and gets a pretty good shot of the bazooka cam guy, and then it pans to the right, and they're standing there just as we had kind of assessed, a skinny punk rock looking dude, skinny black jeans, busted black Vans, the same backpack that he uses in multiple episodes, a black hoodie. 99% shot that is Vagrant Holiday. Not a good face shot. I want to be up front. It's not. There's no face.
Right.
But
he turns briefly and you can see half his face, but there's no IDing him.
No.
It's not that. It's him. You don't get a face shot, which does suck.
Two things. One, outstanding detective work. That's honestly, like that, of all the things that we've encountered in having wheeled this out, that's probably the most solid. That might be him that we've had.
Yeah.
Secondly, is he looks exactly as I imagined him looking based on the silhouettes that you posted last week. Yeah, I think that is a very, very, very good candidate for Vagrant Holiday as a person.
I think so. It did one thing for me, and it completely disproved. I don't want to talk bad. Somebody in our short that kind of blew up on TikTok commented and said that I went down the rabbit hole. I found him. I found his family. He died. Here he is. And I said on the last episode that I DM'd back and forth with that guy. He sent me what he said was Vagrant Holiday's Facebook. There was one picture of the guy on that Facebook, and it was a mid-age, 40-year-old guy with a long ponytail. And I thought it was really weird. And I kind of felt like the shadow that we talked about last week disproved that for me. But if it didn't completely, what I found and what I sent you did, that's definitely not him. So maybe this guy was trolling. Maybe he thought and just was wrong. I don't know. But it completely disproved that to me. But how I got to that point, like you said, my dad, whatever. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I've got
Grand
him.
Theft Auto.
I've got him on Vagrant Holiday. He's completely hooked and obsessed, just like me. And if you'll remember, this whole thing was born from a segment called what?
Obsession.
I'm obsessed. I can't get enough of it, right? So my dad actually was the one that pointed out to me, hey, he was at these riots. There's no way he was the only buddy filming or taking pictures. I bet there's a shot of him out there. So I one night kind of blindly just started looking at any pictures and videos that I could find from this riot, and it was the only thing that was yielded from that search was what I sent you. It's kind of exhausting looking through all that crap, trying to find it's literally a needle in a haystack. I mean, it really is. And when I stumbled upon that video, I literally shit down my leg. I wanted to call you. It was kind of late, but I freaked out, dude. I couldn't believe that I found him. And I know it's him because one, it's the same backpack that he's sported in all the other videos. Yeah. Two, there's a part in that video where he gets upon a car and he kind of points down the camera, and you can see his shoes, his pants, and the jacket that he's wearing. And then third, like you said, you can find that part in his video that basically confirms that that's him. So
I will say, for our audio only listeners,
I think it's 100%. You said 99. I think it's 100.
It's him.
I texted you and I said, I didn't send my thoughts or reasons why. I sent you the video and I said it's 100%. And then you said why. And then I gave you 3 reasons. I say 99 because I'm allowing that 0.1% of sure.
Maybe. I mean, I will say this. It's Seattle, and everyone in Seattle wears black skinny jeans and a black hoodie.
Sure.
So, there's that margin of, that literally could just be any fucking dude. And I lived near Seattle, and I wore black skinny jeans and a hoodie the whole time. I think it's him. I really do. I
might, for the video part, maybe I'll flash it up. Maybe I won't. I don't know. As I went down this rabbit hole, there is something about trying to dig somebody up that does not want their identity public. It's an obsession of mine, but I'm also what right of mine is it to dig this guy up and present him when he doesn't want to be presented? And there's an icky factor to me.
And I feel that. And to be clear, I don't think in all of our episodes, where we've tied 3 episodes now, that has not been the intent. We're not trying to dox this guy. We're not we're not trying to throw. If he wants to be anonymous, we want him to be anonymous, but also we kind of like him and we kind of want him to be seen. We kind of want to know. We want people to know. It's like getting a glancing shot of the Batman after he's just there's a part of me that's I want people to realize this dude was or is or may still be important, and I don't know, if he contacts us directly and is dude, go no further
off,
I say less, man.
It's it's all just innocent obsession. I don't know if that's a thing. It's just, I don't mean any harm by it, and I don't think either of us do.
As a counterpoint, don't do cool shit on YouTube if you don't want people to be like, what? Huh? Huh?
Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. You did post it. You could have just gone overseas and did that shit and not posted it, but you posted it there. Even if you say, you add a disclaimer, I don't do this for any attention, you still uploaded it to the internet.
You can't say I don't do this for attention and then start doing juggling and doing magic tricks and
don't look over here. Don't look over here.
Hey, I hate this. I hate what I'm doing right now. No. But no, we're not trying to dime this dude out. You will not hear us, go any deeper, and try to hey, he lives here. Go find him. But
here's his address.
Yeah.
I would like to reinforce my theory. I don't think he's dead. I think at worst, he might have gotten in trouble. I think at worst, he might have went to jail, be in jail, or got, had a warning or something. I don't think he's dead, but
I think
the
more
spotlight
likely
got
is
too big.
he lost all taste. I think after you watch the final episode, which is the Mexico episode, obviously
Right.
he gets robbed at Machete Point.
Yeah.
You know, again, we talked about it. Not such a dire situation that he couldn't take that footage and edit it
Sure.
and post it to YouTube.
Right.
So, but if you told me he's just living his life normally somewhere else and doing something completely different and he lost all taste for that, makes perfect sense.
Hey, Vagrant, if you're listening, hit me up. Let's be best friends.
Dude, yeah, we will slur. We'll give you the deep voice or whatever.
The anonymous
Voice. We'll make you a silhouette. But yeah, dude, if you come on the show, man, big ups. We would love that.
Holy shit, that'd be crazy.
That would
All right,
be.
my camera's about to cut off. Next, we're gonna debut a segment called "Am I the Asshole?"
Oh, it's me. I'm the asshole.
We'll be right back.
All right, bye. Listen up.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. Next segment we're going to do, and I just learned Josh has heard of this, but it's called Am I the Asshole? So basically there's a Reddit page that's dedicated to people posting stories or scenarios, and they're asking, am I the asshole? And the comments, you know, people will comment and basically say, you're the asshole, they're the asshole, or everybody sucks here. Right? So a lot of these are kind of, I'll tell
Putting
you
my
after we go through
judgment hat on.
Yeah. And they're really interesting. A lot of them I've found that it's clearly one side or the other. Like, I don't even know how they could think it would be the other side. But some of them are a little bit more down the middle. And I tried to pick some that are a little bit more down the middle, just for conversation. Good God, conversation's sake.
For conversation's sake.
So I got a few here. I think we're going to try and do two.
Okay.
And I will let you pick where we go first.
Ooh. Is
That
this
seemed
another
to work
one
out
word?
well for
Is this
the-
another one word prompt?
It is. It
Okay.
is.
Okay.
Multiple words, but
Okay.
like single scenario. I'm not going to tell you the whole thing.
Gotcha.
Okay. So we got cashier, drive-through, self-checkout.
Oh. Drive-through.
Cashier, drive-through,
Drive-through.
self-checkout.
This is where we separate the men from the boys.
All right. So should I read you the headline, or yeah, I probably should to give some context, right? Or should I? Should I just dive into the meat?
Nah, give me the headline.
All right, headline.
All right.
Am I the asshole for honking at another driver who cut in front of me at a drive-thru each time she tried to order?
Okay, all right. I need the text.
And I'm not going to tell you the basically the verdict. I have it here of like, you know, what everybody kind of ruled in the comments here.
All right.
I'm going to get your feedback. We'll have a discussion, and then I'll tell you how everybody else ruled.
Word.
This line at a Starbucks, and let me back that ass up. Sometimes these people's like punctuation, I'm reading something here, so if my punctuation's off and all that shit, like I'm just reading. Okay, so
all right.
just don't fault me. This line at a Starbucks I went to was really long. I was in line for a good maybe 20 minutes until this lady in a Mercedes tries to cut in front of me and like 8 others behind me. I laid on the horn and tried to block her from cutting me, but she succeeded anyway and flipped me off. Okay, I'm the type of person who will not let someone get away with shit like this. So I waited until she pulls up, and as soon as she tries to order, I honk. She then gives me a dirty look and gives me the finger, which I already had a middle finger of my own at the ready for her.
At the ready.
Each time she makes an attempt to order something, I honk and sometimes lay on the horn for as long as 3 seconds. We stopped as soon as she drove off. We then ordered and went about our day. I can't stand people who are extremely rude like this lady, and I simply couldn't let it go. So am I the asshole?
Okay. Listen. People can be really rude and terrible in life. I feel listen, kids. People can be really fucking terrible out there. When your comeuppance when your punishment for their assholery exceeds theirs, you're also the asshole. Like now the guy behind her, not only has he been cut, but he's got to listen to the person in front of him who was also cut honk and delay this obviously like initially negative encounter. Yeah, like you're just another asshole in that scenario. Yes, you're the asshole.
So are you saying everybody sucks or you're the asshole?
I'm saying everybody sucks.
Okay.
What's the verdict?
Okay. I'm going to go the opposite, dude. If
you shouldn't cut.
If you're so fucking entitled.
Okay. Honking aside, don't fucking cut. Don't, bruh.
Yeah.
The Mercedes, obviously, like, nothing against Mercedes owners here.
I don't know.
G-Wagon money is important, but that doesn't entitle you to get your frappe mocha any faster than I get mine. You shouldn't cut, but I shouldn't honk at you like a fucking asshole. I'm saying everyone's the asshole. I'm saying it.
I'm pretty firmly in there the asshole. If you're so fucking entitled that you think you can cut everybody in line and just get away with it.
What will your honking achieve?
It'll ruin their fucking day, hopefully. And hopefully their drink is wrong. And I realize there's some stray bullets here. Like the person taking that order is probably also incredibly frustrated, right? And everybody else in line is probably also, but I feel like that lady that honked is like standing up for everybody in line, right? Like she's putting everybody on her back and saying, you can't do that. I don't give a fuck what car you're driving.
But she did it. And now there's just honking.
And you shouldn't get away with it.
Now two bad things have happened.
Well, that's fine.
What's the verdict? I gotta know.
You can't promote bad behavior like that.
You're just duplicating it if you're just sitting there honking.
No. Dude, if that lady cut that line and no repercussions were issued, then you're promoting bad behavior. That lady should not be able to cut in line and just get away with it. I think she took an appropriate level of reaction. Now, if she went up there and Grand Theft Auto'd her ass and curb stomped her and ran her Mercedes through a red light and totaled it, that would have been what we call an overreaction.
Okay. I feel like the honking is probably an overreaction.
Who started it?
Mercedes.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the verdict?
The verdict is everyone sucks here.
Everyone sucks! I knew it! You can't hide it from me! There are no heroes in this situation!
Nah, bro. If Batman was in that car, he would have done the same shit. He would have honked until that motherfucker.
Fan.
What the fuck
what
ever,
would
dude?
Spider-Man do? He would just let her go.
He would have honked until that thing ran out of air.
That Mercedes lady's probably going home to a loveless marriage. That's the poetic justice that you don't see, that you get anyway.
Oh, dude. I think it's because I have petty in my blood, dude. I'm a petty motherfucker. And if you cut me off in a drive-thru, you're getting your ass honked at.
Is that what you would do? Would you do what this lady did in that situation?
I don't know if I would have had such originality genius as this lady as to honk every time that they try to order. But had I thought of that, yeah. And then I would have apologized to the lady at the window and given her out. I would have given her a tip and said, "My bad, dude." I would have said, "Hey, just so you know, she started it, and I was just finishing it. So here's a tip. Have a great day." And then high-fived everyone behind me in line as I drove away.
Everybody is the asshole in that situation. I like this segment.
Oh, God.
I love this segment a lot. It's really getting my... All right. What is the other choices?
Well, I had 3 longs and 2 shorts, and I was going to go 1 long, 1 short.
That's what she said.
But I kind of want to go 1 more short, but we are kind of running long. You want to go 1 more short than 1 long?
That's too short.
All right. So we have cashier and self-checkout left. You're the man of the hour. You get to choose.
Self-checkout.
This is an interesting one. We might even just go 3 shorts and leave the long.
That's also what she said.
Because the one you didn't pick was the one I was kind of wanting to read.
Sorry.
Right. Oh, shit. Clicked the wrong. You said self-checkout, right? Wait, what'd you say?
Self-checkout.
Oh, fuck. Okay, that's the one I actually wanted. Okay, maybe it was the other one. Whatever. Am I the asshole for letting my son operate the self-checkout? Question mark.
Yeah.
I'm going to move you to the other screen so I can actually see. To me, this one's pretty one-sided. I'm not going to tell you which side. Okay. I took my son with me to the grocery store today. He is 7. I'm a big believer in learning by doing. I like to give my son as interactive a role as in things as possible. And if he wants to do something himself, I always at least let him try unless it's unsafe, such as heroin. When we got to the self-checkout, he confidently told me he could do it by himself, so I let him. There are about 10 self-checkouts and 1 line for all machines, so people don't line up behind individual machines. Obviously, you can picture this scene, right? Bunch of different stations, 1 line to go to each. You fill in as they empty out. He was a lot slower than I would have been. Excuse me, I'll cut that out.
Don't.
He was a lot slower than I would have been, but he managed to do it all with my supervision, even the produce. As we started to wheel away, a woman walked up, slammed her grocery basket on the counter, and said, "Thanks for doing that as slow as possible, asshole." I thought it was incredibly rude and uncalled for. Some people are slower than others. It is what it is. There were several other machines being used and freed up, so we can't have made that big of an impact on her wait time. So you're letting your kid do some self-checkout. He's a little slower than you thought. Woman walks up, slams her purse, and says, "Thanks, asshole."
What fucking 7-year-old needs to learn how to do self-checkout? Here's the deal. Everyone's the asshole. That's my vote. Again. No. I have a 7-year-old sleeping in the next room. If there is more than 1 person in that supermarket with me, I'm checking it. I know how to do it, and I know it's not something like even 8, 9 years old. I'm like, this isn't benefiting you, is it?
Until you can do it efficiently, you're not doing it.
Nope. Everyone's the asshole. That lady shouldn't.
Final thoughts?
That lady shouldn't have done that. The lady after her. Don't. I get it. People are trying to grow and whatever, motivate their kids and shit. But no, don't let your kids do your grocery. Do grocery. Okay, you're on the cusp, on the verge, on the precipice of being a new father. Let that kid get to about 2 years old, and then take them grocery shopping. Just as an experiment. You will find that the last thing you want to do is add steps to that process.
I'll leave her at home, whether there's supervision or not. I'll just leave her and go to the grocery store.
Give her a 20, put the emergency numbers on the fridge, and go get the groceries. But don't take her with you, for fuck's sake.
Okay.
No, everyone's the asshole.
Okay.
What's your vote?
I think where the lady went wrong, I was totally on her side. But you can't walk up and say that. Like, if there's a kid in the proximity, I think you could have went up and been a little like passive aggressive or a little rude. You can't curse. You can't be that blunt about it, I don't think. I'm normally on her side. I am as impatient as they come. And if somebody's jamming up the self-checkout, I want to do nothing more than like kick them in the kneecaps and drag their ass out the front door so we can free up the machine.
Can we talk about like what is too much for a self-checkout real quick? If you cannot take a whole ass 2-week grocery order through the self-checkout, you're wrong.
No.
You're wrong.
You weren't trained
You're
to do
wrong
that.
for that.
You can't.
Yeah,
you are.
That's too much. That's too much tuna. You got to take it. Get another person involved.
Yeah, I agree. I was totally on the lady's side. I think where she lost all like credibility here was her response. So I would say everybody sucks only because of the way that she responded. Had she walked up and said anything a little bit, you know, not cussed or been a little bit more chill with it, I would have been on her side. I'm on her side with the situation, but she lost credibility when she responded with those words.
Yeah.
So I would agree with you. Everybody sucks. And the consensus is everyone sucks. So you seem to be good at this.
Well, I know an asshole when I see it.
And I agree with you. You can kind of scroll the comments on these posts and get a feel for how everybody's feeling. And you said it right. Like, this guy said that I just want to teach my kid to do things that are going to be helpful or whatever. And everybody's like, dude, by the time he's 18, self-checkout's probably not even a fucking thing. Like,
you know what my mom and my dad never
fucking
fucking taught me how to do? Self-checkout! I never got drunk through a fucking self-checkout, and I figured it out. It's called self-checkout. It's literally built so that the lowest common denominator, i.e., the average Walmart shopper, can figure it out. It's not. Teach your kid how to drive a fucking car. Teach him how to balance a checkbook, for God's sake, but don't waste my...
How to save money.
Don't waste my fucking time trying to teach them how to do something that any fucking idiot can learn how to do.
Dude. Yeah. They literally removed the people that were trained by the facility and replaced them with the machine, thinking that the average Joe could go through there and scan their own...
God, everybody is the asshole.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, I'll let you decide lastly. You want to hit the last short one or hit one of the three a little bit more complex ones?
Hit me with a complex one. We'll do one complex one.
All right. We got inheritance, not paying for dinner, or solo vacation.
Solo vacation.
All right. You're going to have to bear with me. I'm a shitty reader, and this one's a little bit longer, but... Buddy. Thanks, man. All right. Am I the asshole for saying I'll be driving myself and paying for my own room on the upcoming family vacation so I won't have to be a babysitter? Here we go. Hang on for dear life. I, 23 male, was repeatedly stuck playing the part of helper and babysitter on family outings. I had to move out of my parents' house because I kept being forced to help watch my 3 nephews. Last year, we took a family vacation on a summer to the coast. I rode with my parents, and they paid for my hotel room. Only I had to share the room with these 3 rowdy boys because my sister and her husband wanted to share a room. So, right, you got a boy, then his sister is married with 3 kids. Painting the picture here. I was promised time to do my own things on this vacation, but instead I ended up having to help these kids. I complained to everyone about it and was reminded I was there for free. And then we pretty much only did one thing I wanted to do, which was a tour at the art gallery, blah, blah, blah. But kids came first. All right, so took a family vacation. They paid, but I was pretty much stuck babysitting. It sucked ass. Just didn't have a good time, even though it was free. We following?
I'm with you.
This year, my parents have a beach trip planned for June, and they assumed I'd be riding along with them the same way as last year, but I refused. I said I'd be driving myself, paying for my own hotel stay, and to have my own room. My parents were shocked and tried to remind me of the cost. I said it was no worry. I've got a good job, a decent running car, and I can afford it. That's when the but started. I stated that previously listed things as why I'll be driving down and paying for myself. I want to be able to enjoy this vacation as an adult and not be treated like a child. Blah, blah, blah. My parents told my sister. She called me and blew up and said I'd be ruining the vacation if I'm off doing my own thing while she has to wrangle her 3 boys. I ended up yelling at her that last year all she did was rope me into her mess. I didn't really get to do much anything I wanted to do, and I was treated like the bad guy for wanting to just enjoy an art gallery. I'm a grown man. I deserve my own vacation. Now, my sister is not speaking to me, and my parents are still trying to convince me just to ride with them to keep the peace. I'm still refusing, but the pressure is getting to me. Am I the asshole for not giving in? I know they'll have a pretty hard time when they won't have another person there to help.
Dude, I'm so locked and loaded on this one. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's hear it.
When you have kids, they are your problem. I have 4 kids spanning an age from 5 to 10 years old. So tight shot group,
Sure.
A lot of kids. At no point when we had 1, now that we have 4, was it ever assumed that anyone would be cool with taking that on, whether it's just a, hey, we're going to go step out for a couple hours, watch a movie, whatever, or a full-blown, like, hey, we're going overnight. It is never assumed that that is a small ask. It's never assumed.
Right.
Because it's 4 fucking kids.
Right.
Even the 10-year-old has needs and has wants and needs correction,
Right.
whatever. It is dirty for a mom and a dad to assume that because their family is close or cool or whatever, to assume that it is their job when they come around to watch their fucking kids. I love my kids. They are a lot when they are all together. That is a truth. There's 4 of them, and best case scenario, they still need some help. No, that dude is not the asshole for saying, hey, I opt out of all of that shit. That kid doesn't have kids, so he doesn't have any point of reference for what it means to actually be responsible in any real way for anyone's life.
Right.
And 2, he's trying to enjoy a vacation with his family. The kid's parents, and by extension, the grandparents are the asshole in that situation. That is, it should never be assumed that you should be cool with babysitting.
Right.
Babysitting is a big deal. It's not something that should ever be written off as, oh, you're around and you have a pulse. You babysit. No.
We paid for your vacation,
Nope. Don't bring me.
Yeah. Or I'll drive myself and pay for my own room.
Yeah. Straight, like, that dude is, honestly, he's like the opposite of an asshole for being like, hey, I want to go. I want to still be a part of the experience and be present, but I don't want to be on the hook because you paid. No, absolutely. The parents and the kids, or the parents and the sibling, the parent of the kids are the asshole in that situation. Far and away. That's not something, as someone who has a lot of kids and who really dreads, like, has had very limited overnight / date experiences with my spouse for that reason. Like, we don't want to just, like, we know when we ask, like, hey, can you watch our kids for even an hour? Like, that's not a small thing to ask of somebody. It's huge. It's tremendous. So yeah, they're the asshole. What's the consensus?
I agree with you. We talked earlier. I don't have a kid yet. She's on the way. I do have a sister. I can't imagine taking like a family vacation and putting the anus on my sister to be
the anus? Stop. Hold on. Ain't no fucking way. Oh my god. Sorry.
Oh God. I'm not going to recover from that one.
Continue.
I don't even. I'm not.
You were talking about putting the anus on.
I'm not going to put the anus on my sister. To watch after my kid
No.
on vacation, and she won't be the bad guy. I agree. I'll say, yeah, you summed it up very well. The general consensus is not the asshole. She is.
She's the anus.
That's what we need to change the time. Am I the anus? Oh, man.
Oh my god.
That is hilarious. All right. You're
Let's do
right.
some ride-ins.
You're right. That concludes this segment. If you liked it, let me know. If you don't, we'll never do it again. Let's go.
Oh, we're doing that again. All right. Let's do a couple write-ins. We do this each week. Write in. Leave us a comment. Leave us a question. We'll do it. You might answer.
You might
it.
get
You never
red.
know. You might get red. You might be the asshole. You might be the anus. All right, so this is a follow-up from Brew Hacker on Discord, following up to one of our questions that we answered last week, talking about Taco Bell. Love that place.
Love
I
it.
had some Taco Bell yesterday, actually.
Recently.
Best and worst fast food burger and why?
Man, this is a good
I'm
one.
going to open that up to you, brother.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay, I'll preface that with saying, do you go for the burger?
Well, that's a
you're-
tough question. Like, where are we talking?
It's fast food.
Yeah, but Taco Bell don't have a burger.
Taco Bell doesn't, but fast food conglomerate.
We talking
you know.
like Mickey D's, Burger King, like where else
Yes.
has a burger?
Let's see, Jack in the Box.
Last.
Whoa, hold on. You don't like Jack in the Box?
It's okay. I don't know. I don't get the rave.
Okay. What a burger.
Oh boy. Okay.
That's regional. A lot of
Sure.
non-Texans are not going to
Okay.
get that one.
Okay.
but-
We got a shoehorn. Okay. Ooh, man. My number one. And this might be regional. I'm not totally sure. Number one is Brahms.
Wow.
Brahms.
Brahms.
Dude.
Super regional.
Yeah. What do you
Okay.
think about their burger though? Fire.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Well, fuck off then.
I'm not like in a full dead sprint to Brahms to get a burger.
They're really
but
good. I would go 2, and that, you know what? This might be like 1 and 1A. I don't know that I could put one ahead of the other, but McDonald's also has a fire burger, dude. If you go with the double cheeseburger, no veggies, whew, doggy.
I was going to say McDonald's quarter pounder is pretty damn good.
It is.
Or double quarter pounder.
I've never,
that matter.
I don't want to say never. I don't remember the last time I had a Burger King burger, and it's in their title, so you would think it'd be higher, but I can't rank it that high. I don't know.
I feel like Burger King be slinging some busted ass
mid.
burgers, man. Yeah. We used to eat they were $2 for a cheeseburger, and they were pretty good.
Yeah, it's okay.
used to order those with no pickles.
Speaking of another one with burger in the name that is kind of mid to me, Whataburger it's okay. When I go to Whataburger, I'm getting their chicken strips.
Yeah, or like their breakfast
Yeah.
stuff. If you're,
I don't feel like their burger is top notch. The only other one I can think of is I just forgot.
Either way, I feel like least of all, am I going to anywhere, even like a nice sit down restaurant? It's like B-Dubs. We love B-Dubs.
yeah.
B-Dubs has burgers. I'm not ordering a fucking
Hell
burger
no.
from B-Dubs.
It's not the title.
No.
It's not Berg.
B-Burg.
The whole Wild Bergs.
No.
No.
The Bergs are wild, man. You gotta try these Bergs.
Oh, Sonic. That's what I was trying to think of. If you want to feel like
no,
absolute fucking dog shit for 48 hours,
Eat a Sonic burger.
You're
Yeah.
going to enjoy it, and then you're going to hate your life. There's no middle ground.
I'll pass on the Sonic burgers for sure. But yeah, I go quarter pounder from McDonald's. For
Man,
sure.
I can't believe you kind of discounted. You remember the Brahms we used to go to in Amarillo that had that giant, like that corner booth in the back that we'd all sit in?
I do. Yeah. I think it's another situation where I'm not going to Brahms for the burgers. I'm going there for the ice cream and the crinkle fries, man.
Well, that's after the burger.
Y'all don't know about Brahms, but if you didn't grow up in the lower,
Yeah.
like the southern Midwest, man, Brahms hits.
I really do. Thanks for that. Who was that?
I really do. That was Brewhawker from Discord.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Brewhawker. You're the man. I don't care what Josh says about
Here's
you.
Here's another quick one from the Discord. Confed Yank, who is another moderator for my Twitch streams and my Discord. Thanks, Confed
Sweet.
Yank, for writing in. Confed, like I'm guessing that's a play on Confederate Yank. I like what you did there.
Not like confetti.
Confet Yank. Favorite Christmas movie.
Oh,
And he has an ad here. Also, why is it Die Hard? I'm not sure Die Hard is my favorite Christmas movie, but Die Hard does go fucking hard.
sure.
What's your favorite Christmas
I got
movie?
two. They're tied. I couldn't
We'll send.
possibly put one ahead of the other. The first one is Elf. I love Will Ferrell, dude. I've loved him since as long as I can remember. If he's in it, I'm fucking about it, man. That is like the funniest dude alive that does movies. So Elf up there. And the next one is Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
I love, dude,
Okay.
Chevy Chase. That movie is so funny. My favorite part is when the dude comes home and he's like, "What are you going to do with something that big?" And he's like, "Bend over and I'll show you." And he's like, "You got a lot of nerve saying that to me." And he's like, "I wasn't talking to you." And his wife's standing right next to him. It's just a back and forth scene that's so hilarious. It's so funny. So,
Classics.
yeah, man, Christmas. The fuck did I just say?
Elf and Christmas
Yeah,
Vacation.
those two. 1 and 2, dude. 1 and 1A.
There you go. Those are good choices. I'm going to go Home Alone 2.
Okay.
Home Alone 2, I think the pranks, not the pranks, whatever, like the traps
Yeah.
are better in Home Alone 2. I think the bad guys get way more fucked up in the second one. And it's cool. I'd love to eat a cheese pizza in a limousine in Manhattan. I think that feels like
Is that your
feels like a
standalone
good
number
way.
one?
I think as far as like Christmas movies go, I love Die Hard. Die Hard's fucking, I'd love to watch Die Hard again, honestly. But a lot of people, there's a lot of conjecture regarding whether that one's
Sure. Where do you rank
a Christmas
Where do
movie.
you rank Elf and Christmas Vacation?
Lower.
Okay, move on.
I don't know. I don't love Elf. My wife likes Elf. I like Elf. I think, man, Elf. I don't know, man. I just didn't latch onto it. I think it's because at the height of Will Ferrell at that time, he was Anchorman to me. He wasn't like a quirky
Sure.
kids movie. Like from that era, The Grinch with Jim Carrey is much more like high in my mind.
Ah, man, that's right there too. I kind of forgot about that one. That is a favorite.
That's a
That's a
banger.
great,
Yeah.
great movie. So many one-liners.
Love that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Love Jim Carrey.
Who was
in
that from?
But yeah. That was from Confed Yank.
Thanks, Confed Yank.
Thanks, Yank. Appreciate it. Here's a fun one. Tell us a story about a time you partied a little too late and had to come back to work way too early.
Oh.
I
Go ahead.
did this multiple times during my early years in the Army. There were times where, so on Thursdays at Fort, it's now called Fort Cavazos, but it used to be called Fort Hood. On Thursdays, they had this thing called Phantom Time, which was they would let you off at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You could go do whatever you want. And at the time, I was in a position I didn't have kids.
Sure.
So I would just go drink. I would start drinking at 3 o'clock, and I would stop when I got tired.
Yeah.
Sometimes that was 3 o'clock in the morning. Numerous times I drove through the gate. I don't know, maybe I should qualify this with like, don't do this, but drove through the gate, still absolutely under the influence. to go run 3 or 4 miles.
Oh God.
Straight misery. Only can be achieved when you're like a 22-year-old. If I had to do that now, I would fucking die.
Same. Whoa. Can you hear and see me?
Yeah, you're good. I got you.
I got a weird internet connection thing. Okay. I do have one that stands out to me, and I won't drop specific names, but I was around that age. I was definitely younger, but I worked for a luxury car dealership, and like the newer, younger guys would get chosen to go to, it was like a car convention or something at the Civic Center, the Dallas Hall or something here. I don't know. And it would be a bunch of cars, and a bunch of different manufacturers would be there with cars. It was like this giant, like indoor, like hall, and they would all have their cars there. And you would just have to stand around and like talk to people that came up and wanted to know more about that specific car and shit like that. And I stayed up basically all night, probably doing some extracurriculars, and was supposed to work this car show for my dealership the next morning. I think it started at like 9 a.m. And I kind of remember like partying all night and then driving all the way back to my place in like North DFW so I could change and get ready and then go back to Dallas to where I had to work that event. And it was one of those where it's like you can't even feel like you're still kind of fucked up and you're hungover and you can't really feel your feet underneath you. Like you're just kind of levitating.
Yep.
And I got told,
say no more.
And I was working it with this other girl that I worked with. And all I remember is her telling me, "You smell like alcohol and cigarettes."
Oops.
And I remember kind of trying to hide from like anybody that was walking up wanting to know more information. It stands out as one of the worst like party night to responsibility in the morning ratios that I can remember. It was absolutely, and it wasn't like an hour or two. It was one of these like 9 to
All
3
day.
p.m. or something. It was terrible, man. Terrible.
How'd you sleep that night though?
Probably like a baby.
There you go.
Probably like
There
a
you go.
baby.
Get your strength back. That's a good one. Lead Poison 93 from the Discord wrote in.
Thanks,
Really
Lead
good,
Poison
thanks.
93. You're the man. I don't care
You're
what
the
Josh
man.
says about you.
Cat Claw from the Discord. This is a good one. This is probably our longer one.
Sure.
We'll cap it with this. All right, more serious topic. But what do you think about hazing or fucking with the new guy? To what extent should it go, if it should be allowed at all?
We talking
I wanna open
locker
that one up to
room,
you.
military, or just in general?
Just in general. You got a new guy on the job site, new guy in the office.
I think this is kind of a boring answer. I think a level to get him acquainted and let him know he's the new guy is harmless. I think, we played sports growing up. You're in the military. I think there's been a level probably through our whole lives where like when you're and what I just spoke to, like the reason I had to go work that thing was because I was the new guy. I was a young kid, So I think a level is appropriate and probably productive. But when it goes as far as like sticking broom handles up dudes' asses and shit like that, like that's too far, man. Like you hear some of these like college hazing stories that is just they're sick,
It's like why do you want to be in this fucking club to begin with?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good idea to an extent. I think there's a line where you go way too far. And
I agree.
that's my answer.
I agree. I love to rib people, man. I rib you. I give everyone maybe like a funny nickname. I'll give everyone a hard time.
Sure.
And honestly, that probably doesn't get better with time. Honestly, but I have a line, and I think the second you make it to where that person might not want to work where you're working
Right.
with your ribbing, like you're probably, like I don't know. I just don't think there's any value in like, hey, we're gonna straight up treat this person like shit.
That's
show
not the
them
goal
how-
because he's an eventual team member in theory,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
why would you want to make that guy like or girl miserable and question their decision to join whatever is causing the hazing. Like that's when it's gone too far, you know?
Precisely, because if I go too far, then it's like, oh, well, they quit, and now I have to do their job and mine. Oops.
Backfire. That's what we call backfire.
Whoopsie did. Might as well just haze myself a little bit for that one. Hey, thank you guys for writing in. Again, that was on the Discord, my personal Discord, the Mother Base, it's called. We are looking at setting up a Discord just for the Hardpoint.
Yeah.
Probably need to get fucking shaken on that, if I'm being honest.
We should. I don't know anything about the DC. That's not what they call it. The Discord.
It is. Well, hey, fucking A. They call it that now. We want to have kind of a regular place for you guys to drop these in because they're fun and they're fun to interact with and fun to interact with you guys. And it just sparks some really good conversation.
Yeah, but it ends our show every time. Like it's an integral part of our show.
What a way to go out!
Yeah,
if I'm being honest. Hey, just want to thank you guys for sticking with us. Episode 5 again feels huge. The first, again, this is the first handful of many, so we want to thank you guys for sticking with us through the entire Vagrant Holiday saga. Again, I think we probably put the cap on that, but if again want to open the door, if you got any theories about that, or we are still fully interested in it. We even on the last one, we were probably about halfway through, kind of our pulping through that whole thing, and we still got some pretty interesting feedback.
We're willing to eat our words on putting a pin in it if you give us some good shit.
Yeah. You give us a hot lead, we'll follow it.
I'll drive there. I'll knock on that motherfucker's door.
There we go. We'll find him. And then give us your thoughts. Anything from the Game Awards. Obviously BG3 Game of the Year. Tell us what you think. Were we right? Were they right? Were we wrong? Are we wrong for not wanting to play it?
Is GTA 6 going to flop?
Is GTA? Yeah. Are you willing to admit that you're on an island and thinking that game's not going to be enormous? Now, give us your thoughts. Give us some feedback. We love that. It fuels. It's wind in the sails every time we hit record, and we
100%.
We lean on that. So, just wanted to say thank you guys for that. Hey, make sure you're leaving a comment. Drop us a subby if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on our audio component, whether through Spotify or Apple Podcast, a review goes a long way. Just
the longest way.
The longest way.
As good as gold, as you put it last time.
It really is, man. That is something that helps us get more visibility, and we want more people to hear what we're doing and hang out with us. So,
put the anus on us and leave a review.
Put the anus on us. I think that tops like how hard I've laughed on the podcast for sure. Like I have not laughed. I'm gonna give you a final cut, man. If you goof on this show, it's me and Cody. If you goof on the show, whoever goofed gets final cut. If you leave that in.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? You get final cut. You get to say whether it goes or stays.
Oh, it stays. Well, I guess you'll
the homie. That's what I'm talking about. Own your goofs.
We don't cut shit around here. We leave it all in.
No, we leave it all in.
Unless it's an absolute drag.
There ain't no drags around here, man. There's fucking good times vibing.
Hell yeah.
But hey, I want to say thank you again if you're still with us. My name is Onexpunchxdad.
My name is Cody Romes.
And I want to say I hope you're Baja blessed this season.
I thought that was going to be left in the last episode.
That's it. Hey, that's never going away now.
That can be a staple. That's good. Let's do it at the same time. 3, 2, 1. I just want you to be Baja blessed.
Hey, thank you for watching The Hardpoint. We'll catch you on the flippy.
See ya.
In the can.